Hey guys, this is Niko, and today I'll be talking about the 4 steps to financial independence and happy life. I just wanted to record this video because there is so much stuff on social media that is just so inaccurate, and there is like a lot of wrong information, a lot of bad information, and if you follow this information, you end up broke and unhappy. That's why I decided to create this video. If you don't know, in this channel I talk about business, wealth and marketing, so make sure you stick to the very end of this presentation because I'm gonna share some personal stories and I'm gonna share 4 quotes from very famous people that I'm pretty sure you don't know about that will help you dramatically improve the quality of your life. And now let's get started. I'm gonna switch the screen and I'm gonna start this presentation, and the topic for today, as I said, is 4 steps to financial independence and happy life. And my very first step is super important, and it goes like this: don't compare yourself to others. Sounds simple, and I'm gonna share a story here. So I had my very first opportunity to meet somebody who was really famous, and the guy was just super famous. If you look at his social media, he had it all. He had the followers, he had the great body, he had the women, he had the money, he had the fame, and pretty much me and all of my friends, we admired this guy for who he was. And whenever I opened his social media, I just wanted this lifestyle no matter what. I wanted to be like this dude. I would do anything within my reach to be this guy, to become this guy. But I had this opportunity to meet this guy. And my very first impression of this guy, he seemed very unhappy. He seemed sad. And later on, I understood that he had like many difficulties within his personal life. He had some girlfriend issues. He had some issues with like illness and being sick. But if you open his social media account, everything like looks amazing. After I understood about his illness and his personal difficulties, in my head, I didn't want it to be like this guy anymore. I wouldn't trade my life for his life. I was like, this guy has the money, the fame, the status, the women, the cars, whatever, but still he's not healthy. Still he has issues. So pretty much I understood that like all the social media posts I see, they're not 100% real. And here I'm just gonna share a quote. Other people's life seem better than yours because you're comparing their director's cut with your behind the scenes. And what I mean by that, right? Whenever somebody publishes something on social media, it's a very good moment of their life. People won't publish stuff from where they're unhappy. People won't publish stuff whenever they're depressed. They will just have the good moments. And here on this slide, I have like a picture, like there is just like a table, a restaurant, and another woman is taking a picture of another woman, and on the picture, the girl seems really happy. But this is just like a millisecond, you know. During this dinner, they might have talked about the depression, the divorces they're going through. You never know. So don't judge somebody's life based on social media. That's why you shouldn't compare yourself to other people, especially other people based on their social media. And we live in the social media generation, so we always compare ourselves to somebody else's social media, which is wrong. Don't compare. And here, there is something like very wrong with our generation, the social media generation. You know, this comes from the movie Fight Club. And in the movie Fight Club, we say we buy things we don't need with money we don't have to impress people we don't like. So basically, we go in debt to buy like cars and to go on vacations, and we spend money we don't have to impress people we don't like. And this is like a circle we cannot end because there isn't a good enough car. For example, you buy a 2020 Lamborghini and there is like 2022 Lamborghini. You buy iPhone 10 and there is the iPhone 14 already. So you cannot buy yourself into like impressing others. It's an endless circle, and if you play this game, you'll never win. That's why I suggest don't compare yourself to others. Don't try to buy things to impress others, and don't try to just spend money on things just to live up to somebody else's standards. Just live your life within yourself. Compare yourself only to yourself, not to others. And yeah, I think there is something very wrong with like spending money we don't have. For example, we're gonna go to the bank and we're gonna just grab a huge loan to buy something that is just like a liability, and it's just like endless circle, and we can never be happy and we can never be financially free if we just try to impress others by buying things we don't need and we don't have the money for. Okay? And so this is gonna take us to the next lesson, because it's about financial freedom. And here I'm gonna share a personal story, but the second step to financial independence and a happy life goes like this. Don't compromise your personal values to make money. And I got this the hard way. This is a building, and this is a kind of like fancy building, kind of like a skyscraper building. And after I graduated university, I went to a law school, so I decided just to like leave my law degree and pursue a career in sales. And I got a very high paid job in this building. And my job was to sell binary options or stocks. And the atmosphere was very similar to the movie Wall Street. We had to call people and we just had to like ask them for money. We had to like sell them stuff, but the product was kind of shady. So pretty much we all knew that we were scamming people. The product was not real. After people invested in some of the stocks or in the binary options, they couldn't withdraw their money. So it was not a job that I liked because it was interfering with my personal values. But the pay was very, very good. I was making very, very good money. I had to go to work with suit, so I felt like important. But whenever I went to my job, there were like a bunch of other people, a bunch of colleagues, and they were working 24/7. So they would sacrifice anything just to make money. They would sacrifice their personal time, they would sacrifice their personal values, they would sacrifice their family, pretty much anything. Some of the guys were just like doing drugs and they were drinking during work hours because this was allowed. And I was like, so in order to make money, I have to start drinking and I have to start doing drugs, and this job was interfering with my personal values. I got into like a very depressed state, so my mental health was not very, very good. So long story short, I decided to quit this job no matter the money I was making. And here comes the lesson that I learned. If you can make money remaining honest, trustworthy, and dignified, by all means do it. But you don't have to make money if you have to compromise your integrity. Epictetus said that. So basically what he says is, if you can make money remaining honest, do it. But if you need to compromise and sacrifice your integrity, don't do it. And I think this is very important for us, the millennials, the Gen Z, because I think if you sacrifice your integrity, no matter how much money you make, you won't be happy at the very end. And this is the second lesson, the second step. Don't compromise your personal values to make money. And the next thing that I want to talk about, number 3, learn how to save money. And for our generation, like the younger people or even like the oldest, it doesn't matter. In the social media world, we're just like bombarded with like luxury lifestyle, and we're told that we need to spend money, and just it's like a huge mess. And I learned saving money while I was like very, very young. I was like 18 years old, and all my summers I used to go to these work and travel trips to the United States. I live in Bulgaria, Sofia, Bulgaria, right next to Greece. But all university students have the opportunity to go to the USA for one summer where they could work and just make money and travel around the country. So while in university, I went to the States for 4 consecutive years. So I went to Massachusetts, Nantucket, and I went to Rhode Island, Newport. And pretty much all my friends who went to work and travel programs, many of them got this BMW, the BMW 7 Series. If you got it like secondhand, it was like not very cheap. It was quite expensive car, but it was like a very very cool car to have. And I remember like many of my friends got the BMW 3 Series or 5 Series, I'm not sure. Uh, and they spent all the money they saved from their work and travel programs on this car. But instead of me buying this car, I had this dream to go to a university in the Netherlands. I wanted to specialize in intellectual property law. That was my dream. So any money I could make, I saved for this university to go to university in the Netherlands. Long story short, I didn't go to university, but I ended up saving like a bunch of money. So I was like 23, 24 years old, and I had a bunch of money in my bank account. And instead of like going to university, because this dream just kind of like disappeared, I didn't want to become a lawyer anymore. I decided to buy an apartment, and I bought an apartment when I was like 25. So for the last 5 or 6 years, I haven't paid any rent, and like all the money I saved from like paying rent are in my bank account. So it was like a very, very good investment. Right now, I still live in my apartments, but pretty much all my friends who got the BMW series, the car broke or they sold the car and the car depreciated in value. So learn how to save money and learn how to invest your money into like assets, into like things that will increase in value. So I bought my apartment like 5 years ago, and this apartment right now costs like twice or 3 times the money I paid for it. So it was like very, very good investment. But I wouldn't be able to afford the money, the apartment, if I didn't know how to save money. So saving money is crucial to your success. And here I have a quote by Charlie Munger, and he says, "Spend less than you make, always be saving something. Put it into a tax-deferred account. Over time, it will begin to amount to something." This is such a no-brainer. And this happened to me in my personal life. I was saving for university. At some moment, I didn't want to go to this university anymore, so I ended up buying an asset, and it was like very, very good. And to be honest with you, it's hard to save money. It's very, very hard to save money because there is so much shit you can buy. And if you save money, it's not cool, because if you want to save money, you don't need to go out. Instead of going to restaurants, you need to eat at home. Instead of going to like expensive vacations, you need to just stay home. Instead of like buying fancy shoes, you just need to wear the same pair of shoes for like longer periods of time. And like saving money is not sexy, saving money is not cool. And just people, our generation, or just like society in general, doesn't like give you like a blessing if you save money. It's not cool to save money. If you save money, you're a loser. If you wear the same shoes, you're a loser. But on the long run, it's very, very cool because you don't pay rent. You don't have an expensive car that will break every 2 or 3 months. So this is like something up to you, but I strongly advise you to learn how to save money. And lesson number 4, it will never be enough unless. So I said it earlier, no matter what you buy, you won't be happy because there is going to be like a new thing that you want to buy. And I discovered this thing like 4 years ago, 5 years ago maybe. I did some of my best social media marketing campaigns. I made some money. Like, I'm not a millionaire or something, but I made decent money. And I I always liked the Nike Air Force One shoes. I think they're pretty cool shoes. And for me, during the years, they were like always super expensive to afford them. They cost around $100, but believe it or not, um, until my age of like 25, I never found it like reasonable to spend that much money on shoe. But I had this moment where I made some money and I was like, I'm gonna buy these Air Force One shoes. And I bought the shoes and they were great. I love the shoes. But then like all the rappers started talking about the Balenciaga shoes. And to me, the Air Force One shoes didn't seem cool at all. I wanted to buy the Balenciaga shoes. And the Balenciaga shoes cost like $800 or like $8,000. They're like super, super expensive. And this is just how marketing works. And I realized that if I keep on buying shit, I'll never be happy. And here I have this quote: wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. You know, the desire for me to to buy fancier shoes is the thing that makes me unhappy. This is the root of my unhappiness. The root is in the desire. It's not in the possession, you know, because whatever you have right now, you could be happy. You could be happy. You don't need anything else. For example, if you think like if you're watching this on your like smartphone or your on your computer, there are people who never had a computer, never had a laptop. So it's the desire that makes you unhappy, not your possession. So think about it. It's about your perception on the things you have and on the things you want. And just keep that in mind. And yeah, let me switch the screen. This was my presentation on 4 steps to happy and financial free life. My name is Niko. In this channel, I talk about business, wealth, and marketing. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. If you run an online business and if you want to grow your sales, make sure you check the links in the description. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna talk to you soon.